Welcome back, everyone, to the 2020 edition of the QubicaAMF Bowling Promotion Cup. It's the 11th edition of these matches. We are here in France at Redbowl in the town of Angers-Sud, which is about 200 miles southwest of Paris, a beautiful city. And what you're watching is the warm-up shots of the first of our elimination matches in the singles stepladder competition. We're going to watch Serge Braga throw his first shot here. And what you're seeing are three bowlers that will be participating in this one-game match, the winner of which will go on to face Daria Payok, who in the winner of that match will face Matthew Magro, and the winner of that match will face our high qualifier, Alexandra Lopez. All six of these bowlers bowled a six-game qualifier, and Alexandra led with an impressive plus 216. And second was Matthew Magro at plus 77, followed by Daria at plus 67. So Alexandra lapping the field in the qualifying. And you watched Sergei's first shot, and he's going to take that Brunswick Hero and lay it soft over about the fourth arrow and flush his first shot. Great shot there by Sergei. Once again, one of these bowlers will advance to face Daria Payok. Here is Cynthia Frendo Duca. Cynthia's qualifying score plus 62, just behind Daria. And the lefty throwing the Rotogrip Idol Pro with a wonderfully in line and excellent form. Makes a beautiful shot out over the left-handed track. And let's give Cynthia her first strike. And we'll see now the third participant in this first match, which is the very powerful Valentin Saulnier. Valentin, of course, a member of that French team, along with Alexandra, who won the Baker's doubles format of these matches in impressive fashion. They ran the table. They were undefeated in those Baker doubles matches, which included all these other bowlers. So let's watch Valentin's first shot and watch the power behind this young man, and takes that axiom and comes a little bit light, trips out the 2 and the 8 and even the 7, leaving just the 10 pin. You have to give him a break. You have to credit him with a break here, breaking up that split. We're on the Kegel Neon pattern, which is a 12-to-1 pattern. Pretty high scoring, as we've seen. We've seen a number of threats at 300 in the doubles matches, both in the Baker and in the individuals. And we'll see here Valentin's attempt at this 10-pin, not switching to a spare ball. He's just going to flatten this out and go after the 10-pin. And no problem there for Valentin. So we have seen Daria Payok go front 9. We've seen the French team threaten at 300. So a lot of really nice high scores here on this neon pattern. And let's see if Sergei can continue his streak and put up an early double in this match. Sergei is from France and Portugal, and is the oldest member of this competition at age 47. And I can relate to Sergei being one of the older competitors in many competitions. He goes right with the shot, comes back. Great shot by Sergei, give him the double. And now let's see how Cynthia can respond. And of course, we're going to have each of these bowlers bowl a full game. This is not Baker format. This is straight up. Let's see which high scorer will go on to face Daria Payok. Not an enviable outcome, but if you want to win, you got to go through the best. Got Daria, Matthew, and Alexandra waiting. And look at that beautifully fluid swing, and right through the shot, and kick the 7 out. Nice shot by Cynthia. Give her the double. And we've got 2 doubles already on this pattern. Well, she's going to just split that 11-12 board. She's been there the whole competition. And beautiful shot there by Cynthia. I must say, it's nice to see the left-handed perspective on the camera angle here. Most of the time, you can see from the right side, and it leaves usually a little something to be desired about left-handed swings and looking at their game. But this is a very interesting angle for this competition. And here's Valentin, and trips up the rack. Hit him thin and watch him spin. And really already down by 10 in this match. And look at the hand that he gets under that. You really can take a lesson from Valentin. Those bowlers looking for more power. Think about your fingers inside of the vertical axis of the ball. So if you're looking at the ball as it goes down the lane as a clock, Valentin's fingers are at about 7 o'clock. You really want them there. That gives you the maximum turn and angle, and you really also want to be up behind the ball in today's modern game. So beautiful fundamentals there by Valentin, and his scores have shown it. And here's the two-hander. Sergey gets plenty of revs in his own right, and he gets that in and left. But guess what? If you're going to miss by enough. And let's see what happened on this shot. Normally he crosses the fourth arrow, but I think he might have wandered right a little bit with his feet, didn't quite have the pitch out to the right, and he crosses over for the Brooklyn strike. Still looks like an X on the scoreboard. So he is going to remain perfect. And let's see if Cynthia can remain perfect here. And boy, another beautiful shot. And you just look at, and rips the rack. Pops the 5 out. Good shot there. Well, you watch her, between her and Alexandra, the forms on these ladies are perfect. She is so clean at the line, everything in line. Actually, a little bit late there. She's lucky that wasn't a week 7 in terms of getting it in and not quite getting the hit. You can get a good look at Valentin's layout on that axiom. You can see the pin is below his middle finger. And that's a layout that typically, I don't know his PAP, but typically that's going to get him into an earlier roll. So he doesn't want a lot of flip down the lane. He wants the ball reading a little bit sooner on the lane. And kaboom, great shot there. And quite often when you have wet, dry conditions, you don't want shiny, you don't want skid flip. You want the ball rolling off your hand. So if you get it in, it rolls up in the oil. If you get it out, it reads, but not too hard. And there's the great result there by Valentin. Valentin, speaking of which, age 23. He's a 6-year member of the French national team. And it's interesting, by contrast, you look at Sergey's ball. He does have some shine on that hero. He's looking to get that down the lane. Sergey doesn't really have the speed of the other players, so he's looking for both the oil pattern and the shine on that Brunswick hero to get him down the lane. And can he take advantage of the Brooklyn he had? Nope, a little bit high there for an 8 count. And leaves the 4-7 a little bit slow there. And again, Sergey, all through this competition, looking for the speed and looking for the projection that sometimes two-handers do not have the same as a normal single one-hander swing might have. And let's see if Sergey can cover this 4-7. Not anticipating any problems and no issues. Give him the spare. And now, can Cynthia extend her lead? She's got a 10-pin lead over Valentin and a 2-pin lead over Sergey. Can she extend her lead here by running her streak to 4? Or front 4, as we might say. And again, look at the beautiful camera angle. You can really see that nice fluid swing. Beautiful reach at the line, dead flush. Beautiful shot by Cynthia. And liking Cynthia's chances here. Beautiful shot there. And once again, you can overlay these shots by these ladies, and boy, they all look almost the same. And now Valentin, I don't want to say he's in a must-strike situation, but it would certainly behoove him to extend his streak here and catch another hit. And look at the beautiful line position. Ooh, late to the pocket. Got that one right. His first shot on the left lane was late to the pocket, and so was that one. Leaving the 2-8-10 in the first frame. He was lucky enough to break it up. But here, having a difficult split, in fact, a nearly impossible split to convert. And let's see how he does. He's probably just going to go for the 2-8 is really all you can do, so give him the 7-2 in that frame. And now can Sergey get himself back into this match? He's down 12 to Cynthia. And Valentin down some 45 already. So Cynthia opening up her lead here. And let's see if Sergey can get back on pace here. Get it to the right enough. That looks pretty good. And a little bit high for the 4-pin for Sergey. Pretty good shot. Got it to the right. Wouldn't stay out there long enough. And again, Sergey consistently struggles to get the ball to the right and lay off, and turns up just a little bit much. Leaving the 4-pin. Shouldn't be any problem on the spear here for Sergey. And this will take us into the 5th frame of this first elimination match. Once again, only one of these bowlers advances to face Daria Payok. Winner of that match bowls Matthew Magro. Winner of that match bowls Alexandra Lopez, who was the high qualifier in the 6-game qualifying for this singles stepladder competition. And no problem on the spare there for Sergey. So here's Cynthia front 4. Can we keep it going? And notice she has the knee brace on her right knee. I can relate to that. Trying to get some, I too am left-handed, of course, and trying to get some deep knee bend there. Sometimes you get some patella tendon issues and things like that. So she's just maybe wearing that for some pain, or maybe just for some, just to help get a good line position there. And good camera work there. Just lays off a little bit and gets the strike through the beak. That was a little bit right off her hand. Might be a lot right, and that's crossing 15. Unfortunately, she's looking at about 12. So that was 2 or 3 boards right of target. Maybe she got a little quick with her timing. But nonetheless, give her the strike. So that's a Brooklyn by Sergey and a, I'd call a nosedive by Cynthia, giving them strikes. But good news for Cynthia. It extends her lead. Now Valentin. Valentin's put himself in a hole with these 2-10 splits or variants of that, but comes back with a beautiful strike there in the 5th. And this one's going to wreck out with that one in a little bit, so rides the oil nicely. I think he doesn't have the swing that he had hoped he would have, especially with that dull axiom with the pin down. I think if he gets it right, it just doesn't recover as hard as he would like it to. Now, Sergey, can he get back on track? Finds himself more than 20 pins down on Cynthia's front 5 setting pace. And that looks like he got that out right pretty well. Dead flush. Great shot by Sergey Braga right there. And Cynthia, age 29, throwing this Rotogrip Idol Pro from Malta as well, like Sergey. No, excuse me, from Matthew Magro, also from Malta. And got that one through the lane. There's the weak 7 we were worried about. And not a bad shot, but doesn't quite make the turn. Cynthia holds the 4-game national record for Malta at 986 for ladies. A scant 240-something average. And let's see what she can do with the 7-pin here. And beautiful recovery there. Beautiful cover on the 7-pin. That's going to give her a 22-pin lead over Serge. And a 44-pin lead or so over Valentin. So Valentin needs to pick it up right here. I would strongly advise him to go off the sheet if he's looking to advance to face Daria Payok. Again, he gets that shoulder down. Inside out swing. Lots of revs. Rips it. Oh, is he going to get the messenger? Nope, no luck there. That's trouble for Valentin. Boy, I was surprised to see him. He only shot plus 31 in his 6 games of qualifying, so apparently he's not seeing. He seemed to have a much better look in the Baker doubles than he's had in the singles qualifying and here in the final. So he has not really had a superb look. He had tried another shinier ball with a little bit more skid flip, and maybe that's what he needs. Oh, and unfortunately pops the 10-pin into the gutter. Almost a surrender shot right there. That's going to put him more than 50 pins down to Cynthia. So it just goes to show, folks, that sometimes Goliath can be slain with consistency and a straight-up game. You'd have to think that Valentin is a threat to win anything he shoes up for. He throws it so beautifully. Here's Serge. Four frames left here. The winner advances. The other 2 are eliminated. You can see Serge cup that wrist underneath that Brunswick hero. And flips it up, get down the lane. A little bit slow. Once again, Serge struggling to generate the speed he needs to keep the ball on line and keep it to the correct break point. So a lot of times it's usually not accuracy that's Serge's issue, it's speed. And goes through the beak for a 3-6. And let's see if he can convert this, switches over to a plastic T-zone to make the spare. And need a little hook there. Gets it, makes the spare. I'm going to give a shout out to Bruno Bidone, who is the coordinator and also the French announcer of these matches. If you watch them without my commentary, you can hear Bruno along with his commentator partner there call the matches. And also shout out to my friend Christopher Viali and his wife Amy. They usually are at this competition, but of course this year our nemesis COVID has stopped a lot of international travel, so just not seeing the representation. Beautiful shot there by Cynthia, back on track. That one she got a little bit left, it looks like. Let's see if she's looking at 12. Yeah, crosses maybe 11, a little bit left. Looks like she stuck a little bit. Caught a little dry, turn it up. Good shot. Okay, here's Valentin's other ball that he's been using. It's a nuclear cell, a ball I love. And you can see that's also pin up. So he's looking for this to go a little bit further down the lane and turn up later and harder. So let's see if it gives him a little better look than he had with that Axiom. He goes way right, turns it up, and still late to the pocket, although a better result than he would have had with that Axiom. Ends up with just the 2-pin. And I know Valentin has to be frustrated. When he gets into matches like this, he's got to always like his chances with his power. But unfortunately, the straight stroking lefty has the best of it so far with only 3 frames left. And no problem on the 2-pin for Valentin. I'll apologize in advance for my butchering these beautiful European names with my American accent, but unfortunately you kind of get the whole package when you ask someone from Boston, Massachusetts to pronounce these beautiful French names. So here is Serge back, looking to get back into the pocket. He's down by 22. Very important that he strike here and put some pressure on Cynthia. And gets it right. Stay out, stay right. Another 4-pin. You notice almost every miss for Serge is high because he struggles with that speed. Has a hard time creating it. And you can see how low his backswing is, too. You know, even with two-handers, it is a backswing. It is a swing. So one thing he might think about is a little more push away, maybe hold the ball higher. When I want to throw it harder, I hold it higher in my push away and my setup. Let it swing, let it fly in the back, and that will help generate a little more speed. So that certainly is something that Serge could use a little more of. And you notice the mass protocol, these bowlers are following it to the letter, which is you can remove your mass, take it down on your approach when you're on the approach, but before you leave the approach, you have to replace that mask. A very common rule and something that is being enforced in many tournaments around the world. And no problem on the 4-pin for Serge. And floats it out to right-handed track and comes across. You see a really good look at that idle pro that Cynthia is throwing. You see her pin is up, giving her a little bit of push through the front. And that'll pro a very smooth, symmetrical ball. Member of that very successful idle family from Rotogrip. And let's see this shot. Beautiful shot there by Cynthia. Got through it great. Another 7-pin. I would have thought that might have turned up. That's that second 7-pin in a row for her on that left lane. I wonder if it's either a little tighter. Let's see where see if we can see where she crosses. You got it in maybe aboard, so maybe 12, 13, you know, caught a little bit of oil. That's really where the seam is, where the transition is between the oil and the dry. Get it inside of that, it's not going to turn as hard on the pocket because it's going to stay in the oil a little longer. So that might have been what happened there. But still very comfortably covers the 7-pin. Great shot there. And maintains her lead. In fact, increases it to 23 over Serge. And Valentin, unfortunately, at this point, pretty much just bowling this out. Valentin is not even able to break 200 for this game, unfortunately. Let's see how the nuclear cell does on this shot. And out and back, and a little bit late to the pocket, leaving a 9-pin, and he just adds to his frustration. And he went to a ball that went a little bit longer down the lane, and that's exactly what it did. Goes a little longer, doesn't quite make the turn, and he's like, what do I need to do to strike on this? He's kind of caught between reactions. You know, he's got the axiom maybe hooking a little bit early, not enough on the back, left those two, what should have been 2-10 combinations, and he switches to the nuclear. And it comes in a little bit late as well, so, but covers that 10-pin without any trouble. 2 frames left, getting late for Serge. Needs this cover right here. Needs this strike to get himself back on track. Let's see how he does. If he can generate some speed, keep the ball right, keep the ball in the pocket. And get it down the lane, get it to the right, but a little bit slow. And once again, up for the 3-6-10. Pretty much the same shot he threw on this lane 2 frames ago. And again, a little bit slow. Can't get it down the lane. Turns up a little bit aggressively on him. And same team zone. Let's see if he can, once again, cover the 3-6-10 like he did the 3-6 last time. He asked for a little bit turn at the end. No problem on the spare. But unfortunately, only 1 frame left to make up a 26-pin deficit against Cynthia, who has been deadly with this idle pro. She only missed the pocket once, and that was on the beak, and it nosedived for a strike, putting her in the solid in the 230s. And you've got Serge in the 2 teens, and Valentin will not be able to break 200. Another beautiful shot. A little bit high, though. Maybe a little bit slow. Comes up for a 4-7. But shouldn't be a problem for Cynthia on the spare. Let's see what happened here. Right around 13. You know, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that right lane hooks a little more than the left lane does. The last 2 shots for Cynthia, at least on the left, last 2 shots for Cynthia were 7 pins. On what looked like pretty good shots, didn't quite make it up. That looked like a pretty good shot and seemed to hook for her. So maybe 1 board difference on this right lane in terms of wet versus dry. Good cover on the 4-7. That is almost going to lock it up for Cynthia. Barring some disaster in the 10th, Serge can shoot 223 by striking out. Cynthia going at a 237 pace. And another 10-pin for Valentin. Can't seem to get the right break point. The conditions might be favorable to hit the pocket, but you've got to get the ball going through the pins the right way. You can see that that's late to the pocket. And he's to the left. Nice dead hands the 10-pin, no problem there. And Valentin, unfortunately, just bowling it out at this point. Okay, Serge, need a double here to put any pressure at all on Cynthia, who would need a tragedy to happen to her in the 10th to lose in any event, no matter what Serge does. And Cynthia's last shot was the only one where she missed the pocket and didn't strike. So I would put my money on Cynthia, but unfortunately you have to bet at the beginning of the game. See how low Serge cups the ball and gets the wiggle on the 4-pin, but can't get it to go. That's going to just about do it. Best he can shoot now is 212. And Cynthia will have that with her first shot just by keeping it on the lane. So Cynthia needs just 5 on her first ball, and she's a winner. And fortunately, you can see how, I was going to say, see how low Serge holds the ball in his push away when he starts. See, he's down there pretty low. If he were to hold that up higher, maybe around chest high, get a little bit more of a swing, might be able to get a little bit more push, a little bit more push down the lane, and go from there. But still, a very respectable game by Serge. At going to be a 212 with a strike. And I'm not sure anybody's got as good a look as Cynthia does right now, the way she's throwing it. Be very interesting to see what happens in the Daria Payok match, which will be coming up next on this same YouTube channel. So if folks can smash that like button and even share if you're so inclined, we hope you enjoy these matches. All in support of international bowling. It's great to see competition like this on an international level. And I would, if I had to give any advice to anyone, I would urge both Alexandra and Cynthia to consider the PWBA Tour if they have the means, because they're both wonderful players. And there's 211 for Serge. And now the victory lap for Cynthia. And let's watch her on this left lane. It's been a little bit tighter for her. Let's see if she makes any kind of a move on it. And beautiful shot. Cut through it. Oh, got a little bit slow with it, I guess. It looked good to me from here, but I guess you got a little slow with it, a little careful. But guess what? That's going to be enough. And that's going to give her 214 and 221 out if she misses. So Cynthia will be moving on to face Daria Payok in our next match. So good for her. And it is going to be 7 out to give her 221. Boy, lucky that Sergey didn't double there in the 10th. He had 223 in the wood and would have been a very different and very interesting match. But not to be, and Cynthia Frendo Duca will be moving forward to Daria Payok in our next match on this channel. And there, of course, is the strike by Valentin that he'd been looking for. He had not struck since the 5th frame. Not struck since the 5th frame, rather. And he can punch it out for 191. And both Valentin and Sergey will be eliminated from this stepladder competition. But again, Valentin can console himself with the dominant performance he and Alexandra put on in the Baker doubles. And another dead flush shot. There you go. Can we start over? Says Valentin, please. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. In a one-game match, you've got to make your moves quickly. Valentin just struggling for the right break point and the right pocket angle throughout this match, and finds it late in the game. Let's see if Valentin can close things out here. Gets up, makes the shot. And solid 10 and a blower 7 combined to leave him a 7-10. That's going to put him at 189. And there's the conclusion of our first elimination match. Coming up will be Cynthia against Daria.